Hey guys, Luke from Empire Universe Podcast. I'm back again with another live stream. I'm going to be having someone join me very quickly here. Brittney Elkin. She's taking on Claressa Shield at PFL 4, and we got her in here. So let's have her join us.
Hi guys.
Hey Brittney, how are you doing again?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm just great, thank you. Actually, this is probably a first for me to having the same person I've talked to in the same day. So.
We talked earlier on the media thing, and I think you were only allowed to answer like one question at a time.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks, but you got to get everybody kind of a chance, right?
Yeah, I
But
guess.
yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm not used to having a dual screen. So normally I talk with fighters, and then it goes to their screen. So sorry about that if I do interrupt you at times.
I don't mind. I'm pretty hard to offend unless you talk about my kid, you know.
Oh, that's I'm happy to have you on here. I'm happy to talk to you again. I'd like to kind of get a little bit more about the upcoming fight. But that being said, so how's the fight week been? Like a lot of media.
It's been a lot of media, but I pushed almost all my media to this week. I did small amount of interviews leading up to it, but I preferred to do them all in the bubble because I knew that my time would be better spent in the training rooms and just the fluid things that happen in life. So the bubble's been great for me. I've only been here a couple of days, and it's been kind of relaxing. Every other part of my camp, I've been driving from gym to gym to gym to work to home, and just working my ass off. So I feel great.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. So before I get any further, I remember earlier today when they were waiting, I think they were introducing you and Clarissa. They were talking like a little bit about yourself and things like that, and you're like kind of shaking your head like, "What the fuck?"
None of that was right. None of it was correct because they called me a brown belt. I've been a brown belt for 4 years. They just kept on saying all wrong, completely wrong information, and I was like, "That's just how this whole fight has gone." So I guess I didn't mean to get offended, but like I've been a brown belt for 4 years, and I've had severe accolades myself. So it just was like, I'm fucking sick of everybody thinking it's wearing on me like grated cheese.
Yeah, no, and I can understand that being kind of frustrating. I don't think you really have to explain yourself that much. I think like if you're going to, and I don't even think it was one of the people asking you a question. It's just one of the PFL people, I think. And I'm not here to shit on them by any means. And again, I think earlier in that one stream, you're like, oh, sorry, I don't mean to swear. Swear.
Oh yeah, I swear I've been doing it all interview day. Yeah, I just didn't want to swear on USA Today that bad because that's one of the people that they said that was in that meeting, and so I was trying to be a professional, But yeah, I just feel like, I mean, there's got to be a point you can let everything go, and I've let everything go. This has all been the Clarissa show, and I'm fine with that. I'm not needing anything like that. But like when you start like, it's all the Clarissa show, but don't start short tagging me like some things. I'm not, I don't know. It only offended me in a moment because I was like, God, this is another one. Like I'm just I don't know. You have to relate to that a little bit, saying like all your accolades are just totally read over, and whatever they want to say, they just say. It did bother me though in the moment because it's like calling a blue belt a white belt. You work really hard for those things.
Mm-hmm. But I understand when people are interviewing to get nervous or they mess up their words. Totally understand. But when you get like something like that, it's like, come on.
Yeah. And it's like I just felt like he just kept saying that, and I mean, like, listen. Since I took this fight, it's been the Clarissa show, and I'm okay with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I actually took this fight, and all of the people that are important in this fight to me, like my corners and stuff, we all discussed this is going to be the Clarissa show. It's about Clarissa's debut, and it's just gone to the end, and I'm like, wow, I'm just a purple belt from, I got 3. I think they gave me she's had 9 jiu-jitsu matches and she's done well. And that's where I was like, I'm a purple belt with 9 jiu-jitsu matches. What are you reading? Something from 2000, So
Yeah.
it was just, I don't care now, just in the moments. I'm testy this week. I'm a little testy and things like that can irritate you.
Well, and I think me personally, the thing that really gets me is when people, particularly in the last couple of years, we've seen I think we've all kind of seen an increase with people wanting to do their own podcasting and interviewing fighters and whatever sports that they like to cover. I don't feel like they do a lot of the research and I guess fighters, if I'm a fighter and someone gets something wrong, I'm not gonna take it too personal. It's not a big deal. Come on. But for me, I see that as a little bit of that drives me nuts a little bit when I watch these things. And I remember I covered last Bellator, and someone was interviewing Chris Cyborg, and they said, "Well, this is the first time that you went all 5 rounds." It's no, it wasn't. She won 5 rounds against Holly Holm. She went 5 rounds against. She went against Holly Holm, and I think maybe that was one of her only ones. And it just drives me nuts that people aren't doing the research enough. So
it's to the end of the week, and it's just the thing that is wearing is they get every one of her accolades right, and they spell her name right, and I'm which I don't really care. The real me doesn't care. It's just I'm starving. I'm on the end of my camp, and that just got me a little testy because I feel like it doesn't even fucking matter. It just did
you're here. That's what matters.
Yeah, it's. I feel like they'll know who I am after tomorrow or Thursday. But in that moment, I was a little mad because it happened earlier too with my ESPN interview. They called and they're like, "Oh, we want to do this ESPN interview," and the whole interview was about her. And then they asked 2 questions of my thing, and then and that's okay. It's just I'm making time. I don't know. Move on. We're good. I'm over that. It's just it's the Clarissa show until it's going to be the Clarissa upset, and then it'll hopefully move forward and we can get some things right, you know what I mean? But I came in knowing that it was going to be predominantly about her debut, and I hope to cause a big upset on Thursday,
Well, and I think that's kind of the narrative of this fight that they think that they kind of put in place, right? And I mean, that being said, you talk about this isn't really bothering you as much. So do you kind of thrive off the fact that you could be the one to shock everyone in a sense?
Well, I'm trying not to get too deep into my dreams, but yes, I definitely did have dreams about not just shocking everybody, but I have a dream to just perform well. I want to be this is Brittney, this is how Brittney performs. I've done myself a lot of disservices in the fight world by doing huge cuts to 145 for a large majority of my career, and then when 155 was an option, I did take it. But I was, again, my own manager, and I don't know. Who knows what was going through my career in camp at those moments. I just made a bunch of decisions that didn't serve me a great end outcome. But yeah, I feel like everything in this camp really is going to be showcased, and I feel like you're going to see Brittney in there for once. That's what my dreams tell me. I hope that I can be here talking with you on Friday, and we'll be laughing and slapping our knees about the upset,
Mm-hmm. And I guess to kind of add on what you're saying, no, I'm not totally sure if this is accurate. I just thought I heard something about it, but was it true that you came out of retirement to get into the season of PFL?
Not into the season. I'm not in the season. I'm not in any kind of contract obligation for anything other than Clarissa. And I was in retirement. I've been retired since I fought Bobby Joe in 2019, and my arm got broken in 3 places and was severely broken, took a long recovery. And that's when I left MMA. I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing things I want to prepare for ADCC trials. I was preparing for the High Rollers event on your EBI rule set. I did do that. I did a bunch of other things. And so that's where my my year game plan, change my career game plan, you know. But I seriously knew I was going to take this fight in the first 5 minutes of talking to Ray, because fighters are crazy. First of all,
Yeah.
fighters are crazy. But I just couldn't, like, I make lists, and I'm a list person. Like, is this going to work for me? Is this a good move? Is this a bad move? Because I'm the only one really looking out for me, you know? And I could not find a reason to say no. I could not find a reason to be like, oh, let's not take this fight. You know, everything I looked at, I was like, I'm healthy. My kid's in a good place. I'm careerly set up. I'm financially stable to take, you know, this time off. You know, and these other things. I'm not going to tell you I didn't go through an emotional roller coaster of like all the emotions of swallowing the pill and going back into MMA. But yeah, I knew I was going to take it immediately. I took it. I came out of retirement, and 13 days later, I verbally took it with Ray on April Fool's Day is when he called me. And I asked him if he was fucking kidding like 10 times. I was like, are you fucking kidding? And he's like, no, I'm not kidding. And I was like, okay, but this is, you know, I've been in retirement, and it feels like a joke because it's April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
We hung up the phone. I called him back, and I was like, are you kidding? And he's like, no. And then we had a contract signed in 12 days. So I came out because I knew how great this fight opportunity would be. And it's more than just like, it's a fucking awesome fight, you know, for combative women's sports. It's like, if I was, I'd say this to everybody. I'm like, I'm a fan. If I wasn't in this fight, I'd be on the edge of my seat watching this fight. Like, what's going to happen? You know, it's an exciting fight to be a part of.
Well, and the thing is too, it's exciting to see someone transition from boxing to MMA, and then for the mixed martial artist to kind of welcome her to the fight and try to kind of see like how a mixed martial artist against someone that may have been one of the best boxers in the world, but to see her transition and see how she could do against someone that's already in that game. I think that is really exciting.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a curiosity to myself, you know, like, you know, we all explore curiosities, and this is definitely one you don't see in women's so much. You've seen it happen in men's a couple times, so we have like a couple of, ooh, what could happen? But I don't know, like, this is an exciting matchup, you know. So yeah, I hope that it doesn't go well for her at all, the transition, you know. I hope it goes well for me, and the MMA fighter gets to do well, you know. That's what I'm daydreaming about.
Well, I guess, like, and a thing that drives me nuts is when people ask, how do you, like, what are you expecting in this fight? And the fighter's got to scratch their head, like, well, I want to win, you know. And I guess, like, for yourself, like if you didn't feel you could win, you shouldn't be fighting. I think that's the idea that every fighter needs to have, is if you don't feel you can win, you shouldn't be fighting.
Agreed. I mean, like, if I would have took this fight and thought, dude, this is just another me gonna lose, and I'm gonna be 3-7, I would have never taken the fight. But I did see potential to win. I was like, oh, let's capitalize on this style. Stylistically, it makes sense, you know. Like, if I can either get in her range or stay outside, I have a large opportunity to capitalize on my skills. And that's what was going through my head in 15 minutes while I was talking to Ray, is like, yeah, I think I can win this fight. You know what I mean? And not just winning isn't the only thing. It's cool on so many different, I could tell you 10 different reasons why I took the fight. You know what I mean? And I'm really fucking happy I did, because we're here now. And it's even my mom seriously won't talk to me when I take fights, and we're very close. She'll be like, Brittney, you said you would never do this again. And then my mom's calling me in this last week, and this is a big deal. My mom's like, Brittney, I think if you just get her on the ground, you can do it. You can take her down. So, like, even my mom is pulled into this fight. And she's always been proud of me, but she hates fighting. You know what I mean? So everybody's interested in this. So.
And I think, like, too, like, and nothing to take away from Claressa's resume, but I feel like this is one of those fights where they might be hyping her up so much, but I feel like she's no different than any other mixed martial artist that might have great stand-up, but their ground game will be questionable. It'll be understanding, has she learned enough to have that experience with someone like yourself that has experience on the ground? So, you know, that's what makes that fight interesting.
You know, I was actually on the let them hype Clarissa up as much as you can, you know, hyper, because false sense of reality is just being kind of naive, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, so she thinks she's just going to go in there and just punch me and I'm going to stop and fall over, or, you know, she thinks she's gotten so good at wrestling in 7 months that my 12 years of experience could not compare because my record's 3-6. It's foolish. But it would be foolish of me to underestimate her, you know, and I don't want to make large, bold claims until we're out, and then and then I'll be like, yes. But you know, I mark myself to not be foolish, even in my diaries and things like that. Don't be, you know, don't be silly, Britt. You gotta. This isn't over yet. You can't just assume it'll win. That's kind of what for whatever reason, I felt like I would just beat Kayla, and I was very wrong. So going through that experience has really set me up to mentally prepare right and celebrate after. Small celebrations is she's exposed her personality a little to me, and I feel stronger in a mental personality of, you know, she might be this Olympian awesome things, but I think like she got super pissed today because somebody said, what if you lose? And she was like, no, we're not even gonna fucking go there. You know, and I think that stronger mentality in that. She got pissed because they were like, Brittney, how do you think this is going to go? What did she want me to say? Oh, I think Clarissa's going to beat me. But I said, oh, I'm going to win in the second round because that's truly what I believe. And she was like, oh. And I think that I have a stronger competitive mentality that I don't let my emotions play so much in that, you know, like I know we discussed being offended earlier, but yeah, I mean, like, I think I have the roots of technique to hold me in a stable position when things get cloudy in there, you know, because like you don't just get to not get shit happens in the cage, man. You know, I fought in so many fights injured, and I just think that in boxing you can take bumps and bruises. I'm not dumb, but I mean, there's injuries that she is unprepared that she has never had, and I don't think you can simulate those in sparring. You know,
no, you can't.
You know, real injuries, you'd stop sparring and be like, oh man, she's cut. Let's go take care of that. You're off today. Don't come back for a week. Don't take it easy on the week. You know, you look hurt. And, you know, sparring is a total different animal, but in the cage, you take a broken nose, your nose is sideways. You haven't tapped yet. You're not giving up. We're still fighting. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know that that's the case in this individual fight. I just am saying there's large overcomings to be aware of. And I believe that I can make those happen, you know, and I hope she has to figure shit out in the middle of the fight that she hasn't ever thought about, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that brings me to my next question. So, I mean, the bell rings. Sorry, they say, let's fight. So what are you expecting her to do right in that first round? Are we going to see her come out aggressive, or do you think she's going to come out aggressive, more relaxed?
Well, I'm prepared for all of it. We've done simulation planning for all of it. If she comes at me heads real strong, what are we going to do? If she comes at me this way, what are we going to do? So I'm prepared to take on any Clarissa that comes. When I fought Kayla, she came running at me, it felt like, and I didn't prepare well for my cage corner and getting tight spot, and then I was in a bad spot and it was over. You know, if she comes running at me, I think that's a bold move, but she moves mostly, she counters. I plan to either be outside of her distance or inside, and I have a few ways to set that up. And I don't know, you know, if Clarissa comes at me as bold as she claims, I think she'd be foolish. But who knows what that'll bring? You know, it's curious to me. It's curious to me how she's going to come out too. I don't know, because she boxes a different way than, I don't know how she fights yet. You know what I mean? Like MMA. So I'm ready for whatever Clarissa comes to me. And I feel that I've prepared well to keep her in my distance that I want.
Perfect. I mean, like, so do you find, like, maybe if you get her frustrated in that fight, it being her first fight, do you think that might expose some mistakes that she's going to make?
I've definitely sat here. I mean, I take a bath every night after practice and do a little like self-evaluation. You know, I'm like, what happened to me the first time I got put in a terrible position? I didn't know how to get out of in there, you know, or things like that. And this has been kind of going through my mind the whole camp. I think she acts emotionally for sure. Like if she's offended, she has to fucking tell you, or, you know, like I think that she's going to get in some trouble. And we're going to see a personality come out. Frustration is definitely going to lead her in. Like, I think if I frustrate her, it's going to be great, you know, for me, because I'm very level playing field in there. Like, you can shit talk all day to me or say I'm a quote or I'm whatever you want to say. But yeah, I hope I work on her emotional plane a little bit to lead her into something like that. Zach's the man. He just came in. Sorry. But
Zach is the man. I don't even know who he is, but he probably
my coach. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I think that I can lead her into things, and I've seen some things where I feel confident that she can step right into my game. So I hope to frustrate her. I hope to make it bad for her. And then you know what? I'm a cool enough person that I don't know. I might say, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. You know what I mean? But I hope it goes well for her, or bad for her, not well.
Yeah, and I just want kind of like your quick opinion about this. What's your thoughts about MMA fighters transitioning into the bare knuckle boxing?
I enjoy watching bare knuckle boxing. They put on a great promotion. It's not something I want to go into. It's just not an interest for me. And I've been offered by them, but I'm not going to go into it. But I'm a fan and I'm going to watch it. It's just not an avenue I want to go into right now. What do I think about people going into it? That was the question, right?
Yeah, more like, you know, you've seen a lot of even a lot of female fighters really get into it. Like Paige Vanzant's gone into it. I know she's got a fight book now. I mean, that's kind of crazy for you know, someone to just jump in from MMA to bare knuckle boxing. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it because of. There's a couple reasons why I wouldn't do it. I mean, the damning injuries I've already had. I don't know if I want to go in and bare knuckle box. You know why I don't want to do it is because I haven't done it enough. I haven't sat there and played into the sport enough and like bare knuckles. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not just going to go jump into another rule set without some serious experience just because I MMA'd and now they're bare. You know what I mean? I'm getting old. I'm going to think about that, you know, like not old, but I just don't, it doesn't pique my interest personally for my career, but I see like Paige Vanzant and those guys do it. I'm going to watch it, you know, I like combative sports. So it's interesting to me. She got cut from the UFC win? I don't remember, but did she? Obviously.
I'm not sure if she got cut. I think she had one more fight and she didn't re-sign with them. And then she took a little bit of time off and then explored free agency and went to bare knuckle boxing, which, I mean, I'm not going to get into all the fans that go on Instagram and comment what they think. You know, I mean, who cares what they're thinking? They're saying, oh, why would she go into that? She can do like, you know, OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff.
There's a reason why we don't want to do that, but
yeah, I mean, like I think with her, she got right into bare knuckle boxing, and it's crazy because most of the fights you don't see too many people coming out clean. Like that's
exactly what I mean. Like I'm not looking to like clean. It's not like I'm scared to get hurt. I don't train that rule set enough to be like now I'm ready for bare knuckle boxing, and I mean, maybe if you had to talk to the 21-year-old version of me, I'd be the best bare knuckle boxer ever. You know what I mean? But I'm not curious personally to explore it. Paige Vanzant moving into it, I don't know her as a personality as well, but maybe I don't know what the appeal is personally as an athlete, but I'd watch it so I mean, there's an appeal definitely to view it. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I don't know. I think it's a big jump to just go bare knuckle from MMA. Obviously, you're going to take more damage. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you on that because I don't I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know how to answer that one well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Say no more. Brittney, it's been a pleasure having you on here. I understand you've been doing media all day long, so I'm going to let you go here, let you get
Thank
your
you.
rest. And
I appreciate the second chance to speak a little more.
Oh, no problem. And that's I like to do that as well. I like to get more in depth with the fighters, scramble their minds a little bit, and go up with your fight with Claressa Shield.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And nice to meet you again. And I hope you have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, if you guys enjoyed that, please go to my channel, like and subscribe, comment, leave your comments below. What do you think of